Hey guys, Professor Bell, Comic Book University, and Damage, issue number 1. So we got a brand new book out by DC Comics. What's my opinion on this? Eh. Look, the art in this is absolutely amazing. Right in the middle, there's a cover. In fact, let's pull back open to regular. It looks like we're actually going to have some kind of a cover here. You can see Gigana is holding Harley Quinn in this. So I don't know what this is supposed to be. Is this supposed to catch up with a bunch of other things? I don't know. But like then here folds out and you got one piece of a much bigger puzzle, which looks cool. I mean, this looks really cool. Bunch of new heroes, it looks like. But at the same time, who the hell's gonna rip up their cover so that they could put together a poster? Who's gonna do that? You know? So yeah. Especially since most people will probably only be grabbing issue number 1 of this because it's the first appearance of a character. Look, starting off with this book was probably not such a great idea. Because Damage looks cool, but let's be realistic. There's not a soul on Earth who didn't look at this character and say, you know what, I'll bet you that's just their version of the Hulk now. And I know Solomon Grundy came first, and then there was the Hulk, and yeah. The Hulk is vastly different enough from Solomon Grundy. All right, and I don't like sitting there doing this whole. I hate it when people say that. Well, this is just a ripoff of that. Well, that's just a ripoff of that. Look. Enough with the ripoff stuff, okay? Back in the day when people were just coming with ideas and feeding off of each other, you let that stuff go. Seriously, let that stuff go. Because everybody's just going to sit here and say that there's rip. They're going to remember all the ripoffs of the comic book company that they love. You know. So being fair, no. But the thing is, in today's day and age, come on, man, come on. Damage is this soldier who has this thing about him that every 24 hours, he can turn into a Hulk-like character called Damage for one whole entire area, one whole entire hour. So yeah, 1 hour out of 24 hours. That sounds a lot like the recent Red Hulk that was just in the latest Avengers comic book. Just come on, man. Like, what is going on here? This is unforgivable. The comic book actually reads as though it were being read to a child. I swear to God, if I were 12 reading this, I'd be like, okay, yeah, this is pretty good writing. You know, like you're trying to give us too much information. Look, I don't like it when a comic book doesn't give you any information. But then when you literally give us too much, you try and give us all the information inside of just one comic, maybe tone it down a little bit. This is a little bit too much too fast. I don't know who any of these characters are in this comic. None of them until the last page, of course, when the Suicide Squad shows up. And it's actually Task Force 11. So this is cool because we actually got the first mention of this at the very end of the Justice League versus Suicide Squad comic, part 6 of 6. That was cool that she's going to reform this, but I don't see those characters she was talking about forming up in this. So, but we did see in the end of Wonder Woman a couple issues ago that Gigana was going to be recruited into Task Force X. We just got somebody recently. Who was it? I don't even remember who it was. There's too much stuff going on. Amanda Waller's just in too many different places. And look, the movie didn't do well. I just don't think that the comic book does well enough that anybody's going to pick up this comic book just because Task Force 11 is in it. Honestly, look, I like me some Suicide Squad, just not enough to want to read this comic book again. It's nice that you did the prerequisite crossover and a brand new title, but there's just all these characters, they're just so paper thin, which I guess makes sense in a comic book. But there's no life to any of them. None of them. The one girl, she's in charge. She's a general or whatever. And she's got this eye patch, and you see the big scar, and she's like, oh yes, this is just a sad day. And somebody says, oh, General, we found the pilot. His name was Colonel John whatever, and he had like 6 kids, and this and that, and it's not your fault. It's my fault. Oh my God, shut up. Just shut up. This comic book is drawn expertly, but it is not written well. And that does not sit well with me. So here's going to be my suggestion, guys. Go out, pick up the issue number 1. It's a first appearance. But, you decide if you want to pick up issue 2. Hey, maybe this will be worth a couple dollars in the future. Who knows? But right now, this was not a good title to start off this new run of new heroes in the DC universe. This was not good because this doesn't fill me with good vibes. we'll see what happens in the future. What grade do I give this? Get it only if you plan on collecting it. The first issue. I personally did not like this book at all. I don't even like to bother giving a grade to comics I don't like, and I don't like this comic. Oh well. Anyway, guys, that's it from me. Professor Bell, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.